Hi everybody, it's great to be here. I want to talk to you about Ubiety, which is an indoor positioning technology that we're developing here at MIT CSAIL. So I just want to take a moment where we can just imagine what it would be like if GPS actually worked indoors, or if we had the equivalent of GPS indoors that could work very accurately, so that when you're inside of a building, say a mall, you could know where you are. Or maybe if you're the manager of that mall, you can know how people are moving around your space. Or perhaps we can even find objects. So maybe you could navigate to the location of that watch that you want to get. So there are a lot of things that we can do if we had positioning indoors, accurate positioning indoors. And one particular area that we've been looking at, where we found that there's actually a pretty compelling use case, are hospitals. And the reason is that hospitals are undergoing a change in their reimbursement structure. So now time is actually very related to an opportunity cost for hospitals. And the reason is that instead of reimbursing based on service, which is what has normally been the way that hospitals are reimbursed, now they're being reimbursed on value. And if you go into a hospital for a particular procedure, the amount of time that you spend to actually receive that procedure is being compared against different geometric means for other hospitals. So how long does a hip replacement usually take? And if your service requires more time, well, the hospital doesn't get reimbursed for that. So what the insurance pays is now oftentimes less than what the cost is to the hospitals. And so there is a big opportunity cost here. For large hospitals, this could be hundreds of millions of dollars per year. And so right now, more than ever, efficiency is very important in hospitals. So if you look at a typical, this is the ideal case. A person comes into the hospital for a procedure, and they go through many critical steps. They wait to see a doctor, then perhaps they go and have some diagnostic tests. They send their tests for labs, maybe see the radiologist. And if everything goes smoothly, the patient will go and be discharged, and that's the way it's supposed to go. But in actuality, we spent a lot of time visiting hospitals in the past semester, and this is what it actually looks like. There are a lot of moving pieces. People don't keep track of when did the radiologist go to see the patient? How long did the labs take to come back? How long after the discharge was made, how long did it take before the person actually leave the hospital? So delays start to creep up into every piece of this pipeline. But it's very difficult at the current point of time if you are, say, the process manager or the VP of clinical procedures at the hospital. You don't know where these delays are actually creeping up because you have no way to measure that currently. You have no way to know where the patients are and where the doctors are that are seeing the patients so that you can actually keep track of this. And something that we heard over and over again as we speak to people in this market is you can't manage what you can't measure. And so we would like to help with that with our technology, Ubiety. And what it is an indoor positioning system that's composed of Wi-Fi nodes that you can place in the environment, and it can track anything with a Wi-Fi transmitter. So that could be smartphones, that could be Wi-Fi tags, or that could be wearables. And our technology is based on a patent-pending algorithms that bring the capability of radar to off-the-shelf Wi-Fi components. And we have a low deployment cost. Just placing a few of our Wi-Fi specialized nodes in the environment can start tracking Wi-Fi devices immediately without calibration. So in the past 6 months, we have participated in the NSF I-Corps program. And as part of that, we actually did more than 100 focus interviews where we talked to CTOs, VPs of technology, VPs of clinical operations to understand this problem. And what we saw is that across the board, there are two major challenges. Hospitals already recognize the potential of using real-time location systems, but accuracy and ease of deployment are two very big pain points for them. Existing solutions, in fact, strike a very uncomfortable balance between, or I should say trade-off, between these two. Either they're inaccurate but easy to deploy, or they're easy to deploy but not accurate enough for what they need. So we're really aiming to be in that top right corner of ease to deploy and accurate. And that's precisely what we've been developing with Ubiety. So just to give you an idea, the biggest pain point for hospitals is actually the deployment. If you wanted to get indoor localization in an area like this, you would have to put at least 2 sensors in many of the rooms where you would want to be able to track patients or doctors. With our technology, in contrast, we can do this with 4 times less sensors and still provide even more accurate positioning. In fact, we would just place our nodes, as these black boxes show, power them, and we can immediately start tracking devices. And in terms of accuracy, we're an order of magnitude more accurate than leading solutions today. And we've been testing this in environments that are particularly difficult for indoor positioning systems, such as cluttered or dynamic environments. And in terms of dollars, what does this mean? Today, hospitals have two different approaches, either a very expensive system, where they really bar none. They deploy a lot of indoor positioning modules. And what you see is that the costs can be very high, upwards of $2 million just for the wiring for all the sensors that would be required. The less expensive case, they maybe deploy less densely, but then they suffer in terms of accuracy. With Ubiety, all the way on the right, we can beat even the least expensive deployments in terms of cost, but we improve the accuracy, where we can get accuracy of 1 meter compared to even the most expensive deployments, which can only get room-level accuracy, or maybe half room-level accuracy at best. So our team is majority tech team at CSAIL, and we recently also hired a Europe who's helping us with implementation of our system. And next up, our idea is to start to implement now with the healthcare industry in mind and refine our deployments and our technology towards that market. But we are still open to other ideas, discussing different markets. So if you guys have any ideas for really compelling use cases, we're all ears. Thank you.